I'm Vanessa from ISBA, the trade body for advertisers. Before I begin, for anyone that has a sight impairment, I'm a cis female of Filipino descent with medium length, very dark brown reddish hair and glasses. I'm wearing a black jacket, a black t-shirt and grey trousers and white trainers. Small adjustments can make a big difference to those with an impairment. Subtitles, audio description, British Sign Language or signing are access features that when considered at early stages of the advertising process, and I mean at briefing, can open up an audience of 12 million people in the UK who have a sight and or hearing impairment. That's a population bigger than London. Add to that 4 out of 5 18 to 25-year-olds who watch content with subtitling, an aging population, and that is those over the age of 65, who are predicted to spend 63 pence of every pound by 2040, it would seem remiss not to include access features in your advertising. At the end of 2022, ISBA's Inclusion Network set us the task of looking at accessibility, where to start, how to do it, and the considerations needed to be made. And so with that, we launched our guide, Reframe, at the end of October last year in collaboration with Flock Associates that does exactly that. On top of that, as we step mindfully into this space, we now manage the UK Accessible Advertising Task Force, built up of brands, agencies, broadcasters, delivery partners, and other industry bodies to look at the accessibility features with specific focus on broadcast. This dovetails into the Accessible Advertising Alliance, which is made up of more global brands and agencies that have a digital workstream looking at access features. Before I introduce our brilliant speaker, I just wanted to get a quick show of hands in the room of, do you or anyone you know have a sight or hearing impairment? So I wear glasses, so I can't see without them. Do you or anyone you know watch TV with subtitles? So if you look around the room, that's essentially the whole audience here. Now, I'm delighted to be able to introduce the speaker, Taide Guajardo, who is a powerhouse along with the other members of the Ad Accessibility Alliance, who are spearheading conversations and work with the goal to make advertising accessible to all. The old adage, want to go fast, go alone. Want to go far, go together, is apt here. Along with Taide and P&G and the other members of the Ad Alliance, I'm hoping, and I'm sure, actually, that we will reach that goal really quickly. Please welcome to the stage Taide Guajardo.
The clicker is here. So good morning, everybody. I'm delighted to be here. Thank you, ISBA and Ali, for inviting me to share a couple of thoughts of how you can bring something to life immediately after you leave today, hopefully. I am Mexican. I am wearing a very green, fluffy sweater because it's very cold, even if it's almost May. And I'm delighted to spend the next 20 minutes with you, right? I do this? Okay. About building the business and about superior communication that actually will help you grow your brand. Because we're all interested in growing brands, right? Is anybody not interested in growing brands in this room today? I guess if you're here, that's kind of your key mission and purpose. And one of the ways how we have really changed the way we approach our way to build brands in P&G is being less obsessed about getting a share of the market, but actually about growing the markets. Because when we grow the markets, then everybody benefits. And we grow the markets by looking for ways to delight consumers in much better ways, in finding jobs to be done and unmet needs that we can fulfill. So growing markets with fantastic products is one way to do it. But one very obvious way to do it is actually by reaching 100% of consumers, reaching every consumer and letting consumers know what our products do and how our products can serve their unmet needs. So that sounds like really, really obvious. And this is particularly true for us because we are playing in a category where almost everybody does their laundry, right? Almost everybody washes their dishes, likes to have clean dishes. Almost everybody, fortunately almost everybody brushes their teeth. Not everybody, but almost everybody brushes their teeth. And okay, I'm not going to continue because we have so many of these products that are in the everyday usage. But when we do our media plans, we realize we are only reaching 75% of the potential consumers, of the people that are in the market. Actually, that's up from 65. It used to be 65. In some categories, we are at 95 when it's Pampers. And reaching moms with babies is a little bit easier, but on average we have 75% reach of the population, and it's a pity that we're missing a part that we could be delighting with our products. So that's a way for us to grow the market. Now, when we talk about reaching people, one of the things that we actually had overlooked is people with visual or audio impairments, actually, because we were looking for, fantastic media plans that were delivering, great reach all the way to 100 where possible. But actually, as you saw already from this morning, really compelling evidence, it's a significant part of the population, it's about 15% of the EU population, that actually cannot even understand what we're saying. Maybe they are reached with our ads on TV, on digital, but then they cannot really understand what we're talking about. And actually, if you take a look across Europe, less than 10% of all ads are accessible today. We made some research to understand actually if people with audio and video impairments were interested about this, of course, because it would sound a little bit self-serving to say, no, you need to also enjoy our beautiful advertising. And actually, we found out that more than half actually expressed that yes, they would like to understand what is being said on advertising, because that not only allows them to do better purchase decisions, of course, but it also makes them feel included. It makes them feel normal. Okay, so it has an opportunity and an impact not only from a business standpoint, but also from a being a force for growth. So with that in mind, we are on a journey to actually, we call it resetting the bar on brand building. And we do it across the different aspects of a brand, the different variables of marketing, which include better products, better packaging, better communication, superior communication, retail execution, and consumer value. Those are what we call the vectors of superiority. And every time we are kind of taking the bar higher and redefining what superiority means so we can better delight our consumers. And we're doing that also from an inclusivity standpoint. In every single one of the vectors, we take particular attention. For example, when we do products, we have now defined that it's, as a process, let's say as a marketer creates products and packaging, we have panels with people with disabilities that allow us to prove that our solutions are working also for them. And actually what we find is when it works for them, it works better for everybody, for all the population. We're going to talk about accessible advertising, but before that, I'm going to show you one of the examples of how we're driving this resetting the bar on inclusion on our packaging.
Aerial pods in our new cardboard eco-clip pack make it easy for all hands to do laundry. Older hands, younger hands, hands that are in a rush, and hands that read. But not little hands. Brilliant cleaning with the new Aerial eco-clip pack. Always keep away from children.
And this was designed, again, using a panel of people with disabilities. So now going to communication, superior communication that is inclusive. I will show you now what is the experience of a person with visual impairment when they are exposed to advertising. And I want you to think, what are you experiencing and what are you understanding? How did that make you feel? It was confusing. You didn't even know what the brand is, right? So one of the ways for you to turn your advertising accessible is audio description. It basically explains what's happening for someone that has this type of visual impairment so that they can understand beyond what the benefit is, what is going on the drama. So now I'm going to show you what we have done with this piece of copy to make it accessible for everybody.
A tiny baby sleeps peacefully, with a drip attached to her eyes open narrowly. A nurse talks to the mother as the father leans anxiously on an incubator looking at the baby. A Pampers premature nappy is put on the baby. Every day is a fight when you arrive early. And we're proud to be in your corner. The premature baby is driven home fit and well. The only premature nappy donated to hospitals, Pampers.
So this works. Thank you. Thank you. So as we went into this journey to make our advertising accessible, we kind of tried to define, okay, this actually started 3 or 4 years ago. We kind of defined, okay, what do we need to do to make this happen? So audio description is one of the ways how we can increase our return on inclusion. So automatically getting a significant part of the population being exposed to our communication. But also there's open and closed captioning. Okay, this is for the audio impaired. Closed captioning, for those of you who don't know, you have to activate for you to be able to read what is being said. But open captioning, which is basically subtitles, we have actually found that when we do subtitles on our copy on TV, for example, actually our awareness increases amongst the total population. So some people were concerned, oh my God, my copy, are you going to put subtitles on my copy? Actually, it does better. And then it goes without saying, on digital, very few people are listening to the video advertising. So open closed captioning, actually I'm not even going to talk about it in long detail, because for me it's a must. Everybody should do. There's not a technical barrier. Just go do it, okay? And if you're not doing it yet, just send a memo right now to your agency or to whoever is working on it and make it happen, because it's going to be good for your communication, and it's really, really easy to do. But let's talk a little bit about audio description, because when we started doing this, we said, okay, fine, so you just saw it, we can do the audio description, let's just go do it, right? And my remit is Europe. I must say UK is one of the countries that is best in class, even if there's still some route to go. But we found out that there were a lot more barriers than what we thought. And those barriers started with really basic technical barriers. So we went to the TV station and we said, okay, so we'd like you to do the audio description. Audio description should be activated in a separate channel. And we were surprised to hear that the TV station said, well, you know what, this does not exist. We don't have this, right? It's a technology that we don't offer for advertising. By law, they have to offer it for certain type of programming, so the content, but not for advertising. So we started pushing, we started to say, okay, so we really want this, we want to make this audio described. But then, after some time, they came and said, you know what, P&G, okay, nobody's asking for it, okay? Advertisers, it's only you asking for it. So, you are asking for something that is very small, it's very niche. So actually, and it was actually not such a big investment or such a big effort. It was just like, why should we do this only for one advertiser? So that was another key barrier that we have. And so in my conversations in the World Federation of Advertisers and companies, associations like ISBA and my peers, I found out that actually there was a lot of lack of awareness. People didn't even know that this was possible, that this, the audio description possibility was there, that the business opportunity was there. So what we have been doing over the past 18 months is actually, as Vanessa said, we came together as a coalition of the willing, first a coalition of the willing, WFA, Diageo, Mars, some friends and family, I would say, ISBA, RNIB, EGTA, which is the European Television Association, EACA, which is the Agency Association. And so a few people came together saying, okay, so we need to change this. How do we change this? And we identified a plan that would allow us to address this in the industry. Starting with us, so first I should say, as P&G, we have said very, very clearly, we have an ambition to have 100% advertising accessibility across Europe. And actually what we're doing is being very, very deliberate about it. We have ways to measure it, so we have set systems that allows us to track it. We have trained everybody and their mother, all of the brand people. We have engaged with the agencies, we have included it in our contracts. So this becomes part of the norm. It should be by default. It should not be something you remember at the end, but it should be really bolted into the way that you operate. And together with these friends, we created this Advertising Accessibility Alliance that is now becoming more formal. Actually, ISBA is helping us lead it more formally in a much better way across a series of players, including now, well, Meta was there before, Google, and some other broadcasters, and more advertisers, so that we can come together to really make, this is really low-hanging fruit. It's really low-hanging fruit that we can reap immediately the benefit to make actually not only people more included, but also very, very good business. And we're working on awareness, we're codifying best practices, we are talking with the broadcasters, and we are looking for ways to for you to easily measure, for everybody to easily measure the progress that you have. So this is my last slide. I'd like to really invite you to make this effort as you get out of here, to make your advertising accessible. This is content that ISBA created. It's a collection of best-in-class practices. Every detail, I was very fast in my explanation, but every detail of what you need to do to start tomorrow is there, of what we know. It's early days because I'm sure that one day we're going to find some amazing technology that will allow us to be even, better, more fluid, and able to delight more people. But this is a place to start, and you can start immediately. Thank you very much.